I still remember how the lights flickered that night, soft amber glows rippling across the ballroom like gentle heartbeats. It was meant to be a celebration. My company had just sealed its biggest deal of the year, and my girlfriend, Emma, insisted we attend the annual winter gala together. I'd bought a new suit, one that made me feel like a man finally in control of his life. For the first hour, everything seemed perfect. Crystal glasses, golden champagne, jazz melting softly through the speakers. Laughter rose and fell like waves against the room's walls. Then the song changed, something slow, tender, and painfully familiar. The kind that pulls couples to the dance floor without a word. I was chatting near the bar with a colleague when I saw Emma step forward, smiling. She reached out, and a man I didn't know took her hand. At first, I told myself it was harmless, just a dance. But the longer they moved, the closer she leaned in, his hand resting on her lower back, her fingers brushing his shoulder. The music turned to static in my head. Every sway felt like a quiet betrayal. My chest tightened, but I couldn't look away. I must have stared too long because my colleague nudged me, asking, "You good, man?" I forced a nod, downed my drink, and muttered something about getting air. Outside, the night was colder than I'd expected. My breath rose in pale clouds as I tried convincing myself I was imagining things. People dance. Friends dance. But deep down, I knew it wasn't that simple. When Emma came out to find me, her cheeks were flushed, eyes glowing from the warmth inside. "Hey," she said lightly. "Where'd you go?" "Needed some air," I replied, keeping my tone even. "Nice dance." She hesitated, just for a heartbeat too long. "Oh, that's Mark. He's in marketing. We were just having fun." I nodded, though the phrase "just having fun" stung sharper than it should have. We didn't argue that night. We smiled for photos, exchanged small talk, drove home in silence. But something between us had changed. The air carried a tension neither of us named. Not a fight, just the ghost of one waiting to happen. The following weeks weren't kinder. She laughed less. I spoke less. Every time her phone buzzed, I caught myself glancing toward it, hating the person I was becoming. One evening, I asked quietly, "Emma, are we okay?" She looked at me, unreadable. "You've been distant." "I'm trying," I said. "I don't know, Luke. Maybe we both need space." Space. The word sat in my chest like a stone. That's how endings begin, softly, politely. A few days later, I packed my things, telling myself it was temporary. But as the weeks turned into months, I stopped believing she'd ever call. The nights stretched long. I worked late, went to the gym, ignored mutual friends. Sometimes, I'd see her online, smiling at parties, surrounded by faces I didn't recognize. Heartbreak doesn't hit all at once. It seeps in slowly. You think you're fine until a song plays, the one they loved. Or you pass the restaurant where you once argued about the bill. By spring, I'd accepted it. She'd moved on. Maybe I should too. So when my friend Jason invited me to a rooftop party downtown, I went, mostly to prove to myself that I could still show up to life. Halfway through the evening, beneath the glittering skyline, I felt a familiar presence. I turned. Emma. She looked different, softer, like life had humbled her too. For a long moment, we said nothing. Then she whispered, "Luke, can we talk?" My pulse jumped. I hadn't heard her voice in months, yet it hit like no time had passed. We stepped aside, finding a quiet corner away from the laughter and music. The city stretched beneath us, a blur of gold and motion. Emma stood near the railing, clutching her purse like it could steady her. "I wasn't sure you'd come tonight," she said finally. "I didn't know you'd be here," I replied. "You look well." She smiled faintly, though her eyes betrayed her. "You probably think I don't deserve to." I stayed silent. I didn't know what I thought anymore. I only knew that seeing her stirred something buried. Not love exactly, but its echo. "Luke," she said softly. "About that night, the gala. I know how it must have looked." "How it looked," I repeated, calmer than I felt. "You were holding another man in front of everyone. It didn't look like anything else." Her eyes glistened. I wasn't thinking. I just wanted to feel seen. You were always so busy, so focused. And that night, Mark was just there. That's all it takes now. I asked quietly. She flinched, then nodded. You're right. It was selfish. I hurt you. I just didn't realize how much until after you left. The wind carried her words away. I studied her face, the guilt, the sincerity. There were no excuses left, only late honesty. I tried to move on, she continued. Went on dates, pretended I was fine. But nothing felt real. I kept replaying that night. The look on your face when I came outside, it still haunts me. I stayed silent. I'd imagined this moment 100 times. Her apology, my response. But in every version, I either forgave her too soon or stayed bitter forever. Reality, it seemed, was quieter, somewhere in between. Emma, I said finally, you didn't just dance with someone else. You changed the way I saw you. That doesn't reset. I know, she whispered, but I had to say I'm sorry, even if that's all I can do. She turned slightly, ready to walk away. And for a brief second, I saw the woman I fell for, not perfect, just human. Maybe we both broke something. Wait, I said softly. Why now? Why tell me this after all this time? She looked down at her hands. Because I saw a photo of you last week. You were smiling again, and it reminded me of everything I took for granted. I needed you to know I regret it. Her voice trembled, and something inside me softened. Regret doesn't fix the past, but it can make it lighter. I'm not angry anymore, I said quietly. I just can't be who I was with you. She nodded, eyes shining in the city light. I understand. We stood there for a long moment, not lovers, not even friends, just two people recognizing the ghosts between them. She touched my arm gently, then walked away. I didn't stop her. When I turned back toward the skyline, the city looked different. Not brighter, just clearer. That's the thing about heartbreak. It never truly disappears. It just changes shape. What once felt like loss now felt like space, room for something new, something honest. I stayed on that rooftop long after she left, listening to the wind and the faint music below. And I realized that closure isn't loud. It isn't a kiss, or a fight, or even forgiveness. It's the moment you stop needing answers. That night, for the first time in months, I went home and slept without dreaming of her.